Terry Lamb now comes down the tunnel with the Canterbury side. They've got a record of 3-3 in the Winfield Cup as we come into this round 7 match. They've had victories over Balmain, Western Suburbs and Eastern Suburbs. Greg McCallum is the man that's going to referee this game tonight. And Terry Lamb, of course, these days playing with that well-documented injury. This team has been cut about. We'll show it to you shortly. Darren Smith, we expect, will go out to the centres from his chosen second-row position. And Brett Kenny now with the Eels. They've been here to the W.A.C.A on 2 occasions. And Brett, as you would know by now, has had many duels with Terry Lamb. These two sides, they occupied the Rugby League spotlight during the early 80s and the mid-80s. And some of the battles between the Kennys and the Lambs, the Mortimers and the Sterling, they still live in the memories. Parramatta's team is Fitzhenry at fullback. Then it's Bartolo and Odin Ryan. The centres are Butner and Mann. The 5/8 is Brett Kenny. The half is Jason Bell. And then the forward lineup is Mark Laurie, Chris King, Cameron Blair, Greg Drake, Ryan Schofield and John Fernley. And they're coached by Michael Cronin. This is the Canterbury side that we expect to line out on the paddock there tonight. Ryan at fullback, Clark on one wing, Williams on the other. Then Darren Smith, Jared McCracken in the centres. Lamb and McGrady are the halves. Gillies, Reardon, centre. Hill, Peets and Brokenshire we expect to be the forward lineup, and they're coached by Chris Anderson. Greg McCallum is the man in the centre. And a most important game for both sides. Though it's a 1-5 or a 1-6 record for Parramatta, they can get back on the rails here in this match tonight, Peter Sterling.
Well, we hope so, Ray. Unfortunately, the record that we have at the W.A.C.A doesn't mean anything tonight unless the guys put it together out there this evening. We're going to go down at the hands of Canterbury, who are playing particularly well. But it's an exciting night for the guys out there, especially the younger players who haven't been here. A marvellous stadium. There's a lot of tradition, a lot of history, and I think that they'll enjoy playing out there in this kind of atmosphere.
So the stage is set now at the W.A.C.A for the Eels versus the Bulldogs, as this match comes to you live in the eastern states of Australia. Canterbury with the job of rucking it back from inside their own 22. And this is Gavin Hill. This team chopped about. I'm just looking at some of the positions on the field as we predicted they would be. And the kick from McGrady bounces favourably and finds the line about 30 metres away from the Parramatta line.
Yeah, good even start there for the Canterbury side. An important night tonight for one player in particular on the Canterbury side, and that's Darren Smith. He's been switched from the second row out to the centres, but Graham Lowe is here tonight just to have a look at him, and a good game for him would see him force his way into the Queensland side somewhere.
Scrum won by Parramatta after quite a lengthy delay, really. It wasn't a clean heel for them, and Joe Bartolo is tackled just outside his own 22 line. Jason Bell now wearing the Parramatta number 7 shirt, tackled by Gavin Hill. Kenny, just a short ball then away. Chris King it is who plays the ball for the Eels. Drake, big lad, gets through a tremendous amount of work. And now a good strong run up the centre, taking it to the halfway line by Cameron Blair, the former Magpie. Fitzhenry just waiting that ball down towards the Canterbury line for Matthew Ryan, who's playing at fullback, to come back.
Really, Ray, if Parramatta are to be competitive tonight, it's their defence that has to be addressed. They have the worst defensive record in the competition, and it's been a good start by the guys. What they have to maintain is going forward and meeting the Canterbury attack.
Here's Darren Smith coming in from the centres, just working on an angle off Ewan McGrady. Brokenshire right on the Canterbury 22 line. Canterbury need these 2 points to keep themselves right with that top 5 in the Winfield Cup. 6 points currently. And a loss here for Parramatta would mean, I would expect quite definitely, they can wave goodbye to this year. And this is only round 7. King, a tall lad, Playing in the second row, partnering Cameron Blair. Drake goes ahead, looks to turn it for Mark Laurie. And Drake takes the tackle, 32 metres out from the line. Jason Bell away now for Kenny. He got the ball away. Canterbury centres came up very quickly. Mann gets it away. Odin Ryan in and away. Gee, went around Terry Lamb easily. Parramatta now on the attack. Through from Fitzhenry and Bell. It's gone out wide for Cameron Blair. He calls Mark Laurie inside. Oh, how easy! Pebbles Laurie has gone in.
Yes, great play by the Eels. They spread it out to the right, made the big break down the right-hand side, and the spread was on straight back to the left. They read it well. Plenty of space out there. There's always going to be a try, but Blair did particularly well to position Laurie, and he scores a lot of tries, Mark Laurie, coming back on the inside, and that's another one.
Yeah, great piece of work here, Cameron Blair, bringing Laurie back inside, but the work was done. The previous play with Scott Mann picking the ball up from his bootlaces. A good ball to Odin Ryan, who, as Ray Warren pointed out, beat the defence out there. And on the last tackle, they decided to run the football, which was certainly the right option. And that's a great start for Parramatta. A relatively easy kick for Fitzhenry. They've just got to maintain that kind of form.
Well, I'm surprised with the ease that the try came, fellows. Odin Ryan, he went around Terry Lamb. I mean, he had Terry really at 6s and 7s, but then the try unfolded so easily. The kick from Fitzhenry, it looked as though it was just as easy for him. He's a real sharpshooter. Parramatta leading Canterbury 6 points to 0. Parramatta with their fullback Fitzhenry tackled almost in centre ground, 30 metres out. Well, Steve Roach is with us tonight in Perth. He's on the sidelines, and that try, Stephen, looked just so simple for Parramatta.
Yeah, certainly, Ray. The right-hand side of the defence, Canterbury's defence, is very short. I could notice Jared McCracken calling out Smith very early in the tackle count, and that's just what Canterbury might have needed for Parramatta to get ahead early so they can spring into action.
Here's Williams doing some nice work for Canterbury.
Actually, Ray, that's a nice habit Parramatta have gotten into this year. They have scored first in the majority of their games, been unable to go on with it. So McCracken's picked up out wide, a nice flick for Terry Lamb.
Then an angle for Darren Smith. Smith plays the ball, and Brokenshire hits it up. A real toiler. Canterbury get a lot of work out of Brokenshire and Gillies, but Brokenshire has come out of that tackle limping. Lamb with a chip and chase for himself. Cleaned up by Chris King. Beautiful weather in the west. It's been blue skies all the way. These two teams have been in town a couple of days. In fact, Canterbury, they had to come via Alice Springs. Odin Ryan, he goes back in field, away from some shoddy defence. He's got a lot of speed. He tries to submit inside the touchline, but Matthew Ryan rounds him up. Well, this kid has come from Metropolitan Cup last year into the top grade in Parramatta, and he's a most impressive performer.
Yeah, he's got plenty of toe, hasn't he? But once again, it was poor defensive play by the number 2 from the Canterbury side, Troy Clark, who went in on a man and really didn't have to. He should have stayed with his winger. And it happened 5 minutes before, and Parramatta came out with a try. So he has got to watch his defence. Maybe a quick word from Chris Anderson to him will help him.
John Fernley going to the blood bin. Mark Horrow going on. Kiwi international actually going into the hooking position. McGrady feeds the ball. Picks up McCracken wide.
McCracken cut down by Fitzhenry. Lamb decides to... Oh, one of his players got in the road. It was his hooker, Geordie Peets. That slowed Canterbury right down. Well, it's been an ordinary start by the Bulldogs. I was making the point that they made the trip to Perth during the refueler strike, and they were sent into Alice Springs for another load of fuel, so they had one heck of a trip over here. Gillies plays it. McGrady pushes it onward for Darren Smith, and the kick from Darren Smith has gone out on the full, so Canterbury are just not putting it together early.
Well, a little bit of disorganisation there. We saw Terry Lamb trying to come back to the blind side straight from the scrum win, but one of his players standing there in the road, and I'm sure that wasn't meant to happen, that last tackle, the kick on the full, giving Parramatta the feed in good field position.
Referee wants it again. A few years ago, they would have penalised a team for collapsing the scrum, but these times they like to get it set and get the ball in the tunnel. Just which tunnel is up to your own imagination. Mann. Scott Mann playing in the centres. He'll handle that. He played a lot of his junior football in much closer than the wing, played a lot of fullback, and has played in the inside three quarters before. This is Greg Drake playing it. They go blindside, and King has put it down. Williams in possession for the Canterbury side. Played for the Kiwis. Away from McGrady. A long ball for Ryan. He got away from the Kenny tackle, pulled down by Laurie, and Michael Butner also in that tackle. McCracken. 6-0 in favour of the Eels.
It does look as though Canterbury believe that's where Parramatta can be caught out on the fringes of the ruck.
A very good ball away there for Terry Lamb to go down the ground. Uses Gillies and then McGrady. Steve Reardon it was who put his captain into a hole. Lamb tackled again. Peets holds it back for McGrady, who does the same. Centre couldn't hold, and Chris King is tackled.
Well, Canterbury did create the gap out wide, and they have looked keen to move the football 2 and 3 passes. Terry Lamb put into a beautiful hole there. Parramatta are going to have to address that. They've got to come up on the fringes of the ruck, otherwise Terry Lamb, Ewan McGrady will cut them to pieces.
Schofield is the dummy half in number 9. Drake. They put a lot of promotion into this match, the WA Rugby League, and as I said earlier, I feel a bit sorry for them because they put a lot of work in. The weather is favourable, but the crowd would be disappointing to them, I suppose. Fitzhenry dummies around, the chase, the charge down attempt. Ryan will bring it back. Big lump of a lad. Williams into some space. Using it. Well, is there any defence there at all? Forward pass to Terry Lamb. Well, fair dinkum, he's made a tremendous run and then he's brought it all undone.
Oh, big gaps there in the Parramatta side. You could have put the QE2 through there, but Terry Lamb just offside there. They couldn't get back on side quick enough. The Canterbury players would have been a try otherwise.
Well, that's the problem that Peter Sterling was mentioning earlier. They tend to open up close to the centre of the ruck, and Williams exposed it then.
Well, it was a poor chase on the kick, Ray. They sent 5 or 6 players down against 2 or 3, and the man was able to get outside and create an overlap, which is incredibly bad defence. Fortunately for the Eels, Terry Lamb, I think he was surprised that Williams had got that there that quickly. But Canterbury now starting to find a few holes, and as this game unfolds, it's starting to look that little bit more dangerous.
Jason Bell for Brett Kenny.
And John Fernley back on for the Parramatta side. Hulro's the man to come off.
Fitzhenry looking for the line, but it's going down into the in goal. It'll go over the dead ball line. And back now for the place kick at the centre of the 22 for the restart. Andrew Fitzhenry converted the try, scored by Mark Laurie after only 4 minutes of play. Gavin Hill. Brokenshire.
He's a good yards man. Big bad Barry Brokenshire. Loves to hit it up the middle. And he's a tough man.
Gillies almost leaving it behind. He's picked up 2 of our MMI Insurance Men of the Match awards. Matthew Ryan. Geordie Peets stabs it along that touchline, but Fitzhenry brings it back. Pulled down by Darren Centre. Canterbury losing Bruce Maguire and Jason McLean out of the chosen side. Drake across the back of the ruck and linking up with Michael Butner. Outstanding Australian schoolboy. He's had to make the rise in grades very quickly, probably far quicker than Parramatta expected. Certainly quicker than he expected. Drake with a handoff out the back. Tackle with the ball is Schofield. It wasn't Drake, in fact, but Fernley. Fitzhenry. Just over the back of the three-quarters, Williams. Plenty of work for him so far in the game. Kenny chases, makes the tackle with Scott Mann. 6-0 in favour of Parramatta. 14th minute of the game. We're going live tonight through the eastern states of Australia. Played by Ryan. Gavin Hill. McGrady. Gillies again not getting it at the first attempt. Cleaning it up though. McGrady. Oh, Fitzhenry has put it down. Referee ruling a knock-on. Fitzhenry doesn't agree.
Well, it did appear as though the ball was propelled forward with Andrew Fitzhenry's last touch. And certainly a bad mistake to make just inside the quarter. Almost 20 minutes into the game now, and this is a great attacking opportunity. Canterbury are one team who do like to attack from a scrum win. They realise that there is 15-20 metres between the two back lines, and there's plenty of space.
McGrady with a long ball out for Lamb. McCracken comes flat. Plays the ball on the 22 line. McGrady turns it inside for the fullback. Matthew Ryan cut down by Schofield. Geordie Pete's away for Darren Centre. They're up on the 10-metre line. Schofield, the main tackler, no marker. Centre gets it to within 2 metres of the line.
They do look short the other way. McGrady's way. He's got men outside. Steps back inside. Nice scrambling defence there from Parramatta. 5
tackles gone, played by McGrady. Out to Terry Lamb. He puts it in the air. He goes down the ground, puts the ball onside. The ball comes out the back at 6 more tackles. Dived on by Jared McCracken. Another good chance for Canterbury. Terry Lamb, he tries to do it himself. A metre from the line. Canterbury trailing by 6. Ryan. Defence was all right. Reardon, McGrady. Now it's McCracken. McCracken gets through, gets the pass away, and Darren Smith goes over to score.
Yes, great concerted pressure there by the Bulldogs. The try had to come. 6 more tackles when the bomb went up. They came left, no way through there, but there was plenty of space out to the right. And the ball sent out, a beautiful ball here by McGrady, out to McCracken, who surged through the gap, and Darren Smith, well, he sails over the try line like a Tom Moody on drive, and the referee signals 4.
Well, he's looked dangerous every time he's touched the ball, McCracken. Bad defence there from Cameron Blair. Couldn't hold him. He got in behind the line, and that's a very, very good ball from Jared McCracken. It could well have gone forward, but he was able to get the ball right into Smith's chest, and that's the reply. They have taken advantage of some good field position and plenty of ball control.
Lovely pass by McGrady there, Sterlo.
Well, I think people underestimate Ewan McGrady's passing game. You know, we know that he's a brilliant attacking player, but he's also been involved in setting up a lot of tries apart from the ones that he scored. So he's probably been a little bit quiet the last couple of weeks, and I suppose this is one game where he'll be looking to really strike back against what has been a bad defensive outfit this season.
This is Gavin Hill. 10 metres in, 22 metres out. Angled kick to convert. The touch judges don't move. It's a goal. Another of the New Zealand sharpshooters. Gavin Hill levels it up. Welcome back to the W.A.C.A. We're on the 3rd tackle for Canterbury since the restart. Brokenshire picked up and driven into the ground. 6 points all then from the W.A.C.A. ground. Played by Geordie Pete's. McGrady positioning that ball nicely.
Steve Roach, Canterbury coming back into the game. Well, they're scoring the try, but they do appear to be playing the football a lot quicker than the opposition.
Yeah, they're playing the ball a lot quicker, Peter, but I thought that was a bit unfortunate for the Parramatta side there. As you said, they've been scrambling very well and laying on the tackle very well, making Canterbury slow it down a bit.
King. Right on the Parramatta 32-metre line. Fitzhenry, Laurie. Fitzhenry, charge down attempt by Reardon, cleaned up by Buettner. Odin Ryan.
Yeah, once again, I can't see any great value in the charge down. Time and time again, we see them as a turnover possession now, and Lamb sends it out wide to Smith.
Yes, and Smith gets it down inside the 22 line. He's already scored the one try, and now he comes up in great field position for Canterbury. McGrady holding it back, gets it out to the blind for Smith. And Darren Smith then is put down 12 metres out from the line. Geordie Peets, Lamb, Gillies, run around for Lamb, but smothered by Brett Kenny. McGrady coming from the right to the left. They run a second man play out in the centres. McCracken for Gillies. Gillies away and getting the ball over the line, but dropping it was Troy Clark.
Yes, they bombed one. The Bullies, they bombed a try there. If he puts it down, it's a try. But once again, the Parramatta defence, terrible defence. He just tried to reach over, but he's dropped it.
And also, once again, it was Jared McCracken causing the problems. Big man hitting the ball hard and straight. And they've got to move up on him before they get their momentum going. Drake takes good ground up the centre of the ruck there. Second tackle for Parramatta.
Drake, Bell, Fitzhenry, Kenny. Kenny skips out of the tackle, gets it almost to the halfway line, finds Odin Ryan. Look at this boy go in and away. Lamb gets a tap on the ankle to put him down. That's where the play breaks down, but referee McCallum gives the penalty anyway.
Well, he scores the try, Odin Ryan, if he doesn't get ankle tapped. He got into open spaces. Again, beautiful work done down the right side of the field. Brett Kenny involved. Picked up Odin Ryan. Got enormous speed, this man. I don't think McGrady would have matched it with him. Buettner was on the outside. Penalty has gone Parramatta's way. Andrew Fitzhenry opting to kick for goal.
Opportunity here for Andrew Fitzhenry to break the deadlock. 6 points all. It's the one attempt for Fitzhenry. The same for Gavin Hill, so both goal kickers on line with their opening attempts. Sunday we go to Leichhardt for the match between Balmain and North Sydney. About 23 metres out. 13 in from touch. Strikes it. It's going nicely. Straight over the dot. Fitzhenry on line at the W.A.C.A. 8-6 in favour of Parramatta. Parramatta coming away from the in-goal area. Buettner. Schofield, Bell, Mann. Now Cameron Blair. Very good purchase for Parramatta, Cameron Blair. He came to them with a lot of experience from the Western Suburbs club, where at one time he was captain. Fitzhenry. Troy Clark having some trouble with the ball handling. He had a similar experience against Eastern Suburbs a couple of weeks ago. But Chris Anderson didn't bring out the axe. He's given the kid a chance to get his confidence back.
No, and he didn't take him off in that game either, even though he had created plenty of errors. And in fact, Clark went on to score the try, or one of the tries late in the game that put Eastern Suburbs away. So a great show of faith there by the coach. And Clark has retained his spot in the side.
McGrady. One thing Canterbury showed that day in that match we were talking about, you never know when you've got them. Beaten, I mean. They were playing miserable football, catch-up football all day, but to their credit, they kept clinging in there, and they got up with the 2 points that Eastern Suburbs probably already had counted. Drake, now, oh, Kenny should have caught that.
Yes, there was danger for the Canterbury side. If he does, Kenny had a man on the inside and a couple on the outside. Would have been big trouble for the Bulldogs.
Normally got enormous set of hands, but you can see not watching the football there, and it doesn't matter what kind of footballer you are in the park or a champion player. If you don't watch the football, it'll go to ground.
Brady, at the moment, he's content to kick and to pass. And when he's like this, you wait for him to explode. Wait for him to use the feet. Lamb. Reardon. Gillies. Bartolo makes the tackle over on the left wing. And this boy is injured, Simon Gillies. Centre.
Not a good sign for Canterbury. Simon Gillies still down. He's been, I believe, their best player throughout the season. Representative player this year, and I think a fringe state of origin player for the next game if injuries are a part of the New South Wales build-up.
Well, he must have gone close to getting in the first game, really, because he is a fine player and he can cover in 3 positions in the pack.
High ball, allowed to bounce. Now it's with Clark. Covered by Odin Ryan. Grady.
We hope someone tries to catch it this time. Jason Bell getting in position.
Canterbury come away with it through Matthew Ryan. Turnover, the ball not touched by Parramatta. Fitzhenry goes away, runs into the shoulder there of Brokenshire, and that stung him too, that tackle. Drake knocked down by Canterbury. Now the referee has allowed that to go. Got the distinct impression the ball, though in Parramatta possession, was knocked down by Canterbury.
Well, a mistake there made by Canterbury. Maybe justice was served, but still Greg Drake trying to force a pass on the 22-metre line, and this isn't the end of the ground to be trying to throw these one-arm passes. A little bit of a mix-up there between Terry Lamb and Darren Smith resulted in the ball going forward.
Schofield. Fitzhenry is still down in the back play after that tackle that you saw from Brokenshire. 8 points to 6 in favour of the Eels. 27th minute. Kenny cuts out Buettner, picks up Mann, gets it back out for Buettner. He gets it inside. Brett Kenny inside for Odin Ryan. Bombarded from behind. Buettner. Bell. That kick has gone out to the spaces. Williams trying to in and away. And Fitzhenry leaves the field now.
Danny Krankovic looking to go on the Parramatta side. That is a blow for Parramatta. Fitzhenry, the main kicker, of course, both infield and for goal. The referee finds a penalty inside the 5 for Parramatta team.
And for Canterbury, you can see Mark Brokenshire down there. He might have caught one in the stomach area. He's not a well boy.
Well, reminiscent of State of Origin night, isn't it?
1-1 the penalties. McGrady finding the line midway 22 halfway. Parramatta's end. Gavin Hill. Enthusiastic defence by Parramatta on that occasion. McGrady, centre. Mark Brokenshire gingerly trying to straighten up. Gillies. Through Lamb for McGrady at second receiver this time. Matthew Ryan. He's put it down. The referee will pack a scrum 30 metres out from the Parramatta line.
On that occasion, McGrady held it up again, but Ryan got smashed in the tackle. Tried to offload the impossible pass. It was never on, really.
Both teams have been guilty of trying to push the football at the wrong time. Certainly the tackle over the top there resulted in Ryan losing the ball, but he had the hands free. A lot of possession being dropped by both teams in good attacking positions. There's one against the feed.
Against the feed for Canterbury. Ryan for Lamb. Lamb fins off. Looks inside. Intercepted by Parramatta's Mark Lowry. Lowry comes back to the 20-metre line.
Oh, and didn't he do well to get out of that scrum and cover that situation? If he doesn't turn up there, it's a Bulldogs try. Watch him covering over and just plucks that one out of the air. Well done, Mark Lowry.
Jason Bell. Cameron Blair. Let's take a report on that injury for Andrew Fitzhenry from Steve Roach.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ray, Andrew Fitzhenry has injured ribs.
Well, he ran into a real shoulder charge from Brokenshire, and I think it may have even hurt the tackle. Parramatta picking up some good field position with that kick in general play.
Yeah, good kick there from Jason Bell. I have noticed quite a few players out in the middle there near the cricket pitch area, slipping and sliding around. We have played here in the past, and that has been a problem. Simon Gillies comes back to the scrum very gingerly. He went over, the legs went different ways. So we've got to be a little bit careful around there.
On in jumper number 40 for Canterbury is Craig Parramatta. And talking of him, he gets it outside the 22 line. Centre.
We're into that danger period we talk about. 10 minutes to go. Very little between the two teams. Up to date. Really, this last 10 minutes, any team that can score just before half-time does go in with the ascendancy.
Strong run by Brokenshire. Good tackle. Equal to the charge from the attacker. Lamb turning it in for Gillies. Canterbury are using that ploy quite a bit, getting a big man out wide, then running the angle off Terry Lamb.
Yes, they certainly are. They're looking for the defence not to be coming up both sides, and Parramatta have had problems tonight with that. The defence hasn't been coming up both sides, and Canterbury have made plenty of yards right down the middle.
Odin Ryan.
Been impressive, Ray, Odin Ryan.
He's a good player. I saw him play a lot in the Metropolitan Cup last year, and I was talking to Sterlo about him, and Sterlo only saw him once and was very impressed with his performance for the Eels, in the top grade too.
Not just his performance, his attitude is very good. Hasn't played a lot of football. A good hit there from Brokenshire again on Cameron Blair. But he has got the ability to go to the top and the attitude to match it.
Butner turning it inside for Ryan Schofield. Fifth tackle. Bell. High kick. Comes off Butner. Comes back to Schofield. Looks inside. Turnover of possession.
Well, interesting that. I thought with players going up to contest, it may have touched the Canterbury hand and resulted in 6 again, but the referee on the spot. And Canterbury looked to move it out of the danger area, just over the 22-metre line. A good quick play of the ball there.
May have touched a Canterbury hand, or hoping it touched a Canterbury hand.
Well, there are a few bodies there, Ray, as Canterbury again come the blind. A good ball from Parramatta. Canterbury really looking to hit the blind side a lot, hoping to catch numbers out in defence.
Geordie Peach. Lamb getting outside the defence, tries to turn it inside for McCracken. Came off the head, says referee McCallum. No knock on. Parramatta kicks ahead. Odin Ryan goes back to cover. (15) out from his own line. Krankovic. Parramatta on their own quarter, leading by 8 points to 6. They've lost Fitzhenry, their goal kicker. Scott Marr.
Do you like that pass from Jason Bell then, Sterlo?
Not the kind of pass we're looking to throw inside the 22 metres, but most teams looking to move the ball around, certainly. Jason Ryan picking up Brett Kenny. There's numbers out here, and he's done well picking up Krankovic.
There's the angle by Krankovic. But he was really covered there by Terry Lamb, a ball and all tackle. Now, Jason Bell, he's in the space, full back to beat, he won't have the pace, cut down, 15 out. Both sides are being opened up. 5 gone. Fernley Over the shoulder of Drake, off the boot of Cameron Blair, picked up by Gavin Hill.
Well,
good passage of play there by Parramatta. Lovely run by Jason Bell. Now the penalty goes to Canterbury. Interference in the play of the ball.
again, it broke down there. John Fernley was not the man to be picked up there in the
wasn't.
last tackle. And that's where certainly Brett Kenny and the like have to get in and take a bit of control. Canterbury under some pressure there, but with only 6 minutes left on the clock. Terry Lamb will find touch 10 metres inside his own territory.
And the tap being taken right in front of Stephen Roach, from whom we take a sideline comment.
Ray, Canterbury have to be worried about their left-hand defence. Parramatta have broken them 6 times down there using Brett Kenny.
Point made by Balmain captain, Blocker Roach. Gillies, Parramatta, Lamb, cuts out Reardon, around the back. Oh! Scott Mann has gone high on Darren Smith.
Could be a Gary.
He's gone. Scott Mann has been sent off. 45th minute of the game.
Well, a very high tackle there from Scott Mann on Darren Smith. There it is. And I suppose, you know, that's a sending off offence. It's a dangerous tackle. Unfortunate for Scott Mann. He's not a malicious player and has played very well for the Eels tonight.
Darren Smith is on his feet. He's okay. Parramatta leading by 8-6, but they've got a lot of work to do now. Scott Mann sent off at the 35th minute of the game. Gavin Hill. Strong tackling there by Cameron Blair and Chris King. Lamb. Beats. Hill. Lamb again. Parramatta. He grabs a hit from the Kraken, cleaned up by Odin Ryan. Now this will be a penalty.
Well, he's got them for offside there. The Kraken, the man. Some brave work done there by Odin Ryan. Actually, McCracken's knee unfortunately came in contact with Odin Ryan. He stayed down. The referee has ruled the player offside from the kick.
I thought he might have got the second man there. He came in fairly late, but with that sending off, Ray, it looked like a reflex action more to me. Nothing malicious in the tackle, but let's face it, it was high and dangerous, and that's why he was sent off.
Very nasty coincidence here. Parramatta played here twice before, and in the first game we actually had a player sent off as well before going on and beating Balmain. Mark Bugden on that occasion got his marching orders.
Drake. Chris King. Half-time, not too far away. Kenny. Utner. Here comes the last tackle now for the Eels. Jason Bell putting it down between fullback and winger. Matthew Ryan has his winger with him. They decide to run the football outside the 32. Still going, Matthew Ryan. Williams has followed him right across the park. Then he puts the ball to ground. Dived on by Chris King.
But gee, that was a poor chase once again by the Eels. They went down in dribs and drabs and just didn't cover the whole field. Plenty of ground made there by Canterbury, but the mistake was made, and now Parramatta get the big let-off.
Well, Paul, it's a part of Parramatta's play that it was highlighted as a deficiency way back in the Tui's challenge. Remember against Illawarra, Riolo, from broken play, because they didn't put a good chase on the kick, he absolutely penalised them a couple of times in the first 10 minutes.
Well, you can coach them to chase, Ray, but you can't make them do it on the day. You can lead the camel to the well, but you can't make him drink.
Bell. Nice piece of philosophising there from Paul Vautin. I didn't know that camels actually drank from wells, but still, they may have in Fatty's day.
They do in Queensland.
Do they? This is Clark. Centre. Parramatta turns it inside. Gillies has His pass has gone to ground, but Lamb scoops it away for Brokenshire. Winding up the big frame. Now with Lamb. Chance here for Canterbury. Brokenshire followed through. That's play on. Gavin Hill put down by McCracken. And a penalty goes to Canterbury.
Oh, what about Barry Brokenshire? Pace to burn. Away he went. Backed up again. But now the offside penalty comes and Canterbury. Will Terry Lamb kick the goal? Yes, he will. Look at Barry go up the middle. And Lamb and Brokenshire backs up once again. I thought this pass is a bit dicey. Knees on the ground. I thought he was held. But Hill. And the pass is knocked down there. And that man offside owed, what's his name? Udenrine.
That's close enough for you, Fetty.
And Gavin Hill will line this one up. A chance to level the scores. But Canterbury, gee, they've looked dangerous when they've thrown the ball out wide. There's gaps galore in the Parramatta defence. And Mick Cronin, he'll be breaking out in boils at half-time.
.22 metres out. 10 metres in from touch. Gavin Hill, his chance to equalise. Siren for half-time will sound. Hard lift the boot, okay. It's there. Another two-pointer for Gavin Hill. And 8 points all is the half-time score. Tries for Darren Smith for Canterbury. Mark Lowry for Parramatta. Both goal kickers have been online. And 8 points all is the score from the W.A.C.A. 8 points all. A try apiece, 2 goals apiece. And just repeating that Parramatta and Andrew Fitzhenry taken from the field injured. We don't expect to see him back. And sent off at the 35th minute in a sensational moment of the game was Scott Mann. So Canterbury with 13 against 12 for the second half. Penalties at half-time, 4-2 to Canterbury. Scrums 5-3 to the Bulldogs. But that includes one against the head, don't forget. That's most important. 109 tackles for Parramatta, 84 for Canterbury. And Ryan Schofield topping it for Parramatta. Gavin Hill doing the bulk of the work in the Canterbury forward line. The backs, McCracken has made 10 and Mann prior to his dismissal had made 8. Well, those line breaks that we bring up on the stats, they surprised me a little bit that Parramatta had broken Canterbury so many more times, 11-6. It does indicate that Parramatta are having trouble finishing off some very pleasing play in the initial stages.
No doubt, Ray, as the second half gets underway and taken by Michael Buettner just outside his try line. I think both teams really have been guilty of forcing the pass, and certainly forcing the pass when a try was on, when maybe the tackle was the better option and a quick play the ball. I really think that both coaches will have said to their teams at half-time that if you get in the scoring situation, don't push it, it will happen.
Cameron Blair surging forward. John Fernley. Greg Drake is watching the game from an elevated point. Drake and Fernley, they look very similar. Bell. Williams. Again, players losing their footing when they get on the edge or on the cricket pitch area. Matthew Ryan. Canterbury has won 3 Winfield Cup matches, lost an equal amount. Polamaunta. Johnny Peets, he finds the line. It was very adventurous. Scrum will go down just outside the 22 line. Just looking down at Jared McCracken, not Jared McCracken, but Ewan McGrady. He's starting to stretch up as a player goes to ground, Matthew Ryan.
Well, it's got to be Simon Gillies coming off, surely. He's at 5'8". I watched him walk onto the field for the second half. He limped for 40 metres. Well, he's got that play on. That's the second one against the feed, and Certainly you can't have two go against your scrum wins when you're a man down. But Gilly's really struggling out there, has the left thigh very heavily strapped.
This Kiwi is having a strong game tonight, Gavin Hill. Even his goal kicking aside, his hit-ups have been strong, his tackling has been very good. Forward pass ruled by McCallum. Well, that's a tough call for mine. He was back with the defensive line, McCallum, and he's called a forward pass on Canterbury that didn't look all that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad, Ray. It certainly was a tough call. He was back 10 metres away, looking on an angle. I don't know how at least he's got eyes on the side of his head. He couldn't have seen that one.
Kenny calling his halfback Bell around him. Krankovic.
Yeah, Blocker has a legendary front row. What have you made of the Canterbury front rowers games tonight? Hill seems to be improving with every match.
Yeah, certainly, as Ray just alluded to, he's not only a goal kicker, he's certainly taking the forwards. I'm very impressed with Mark Brokenshire at the moment. I think he's playing very well for Canterbury. Canterbury can fall into a false sense of security here by trying to shift the ball around, but as you know, Fatty, you've got to go forward before you can start doing that, especially with Parramatta down to 12 players.
Brett Kenny to clear. Not very often you see Brett called on to clear with the kick.
No, but I think it is important that he does get in there and take some pressure off the shoulders of Jason Bell. With Andrew Fitzhenry replaced, Parramatta kicking game really is in a poor situation. He's by far their best kicker. And I think that Brett Kenny has to get involved full stop. We see some good defence from him there. He's got to lead by example tonight.
Clark. Darren Smith. Will he make the second origin side for Queensland? Pollamouta. Gillies flicks out the back. Bounces well for Pollamouta. Collared by Kenny. Lamb. Through Reardon. This is Williams. Over the halfway line.
Straight away.
Terry Lamb again. Kicking to the open spaces for his outside men. Oh, they had a very good chance of coming up with it. Odin Ryan lost it.
And there's the difference, Ray, in the chasing games of the two sides. You saw 3 or 4 Canterbury men bearing down on Odin Ryan there, and the pressure was on him, and on that occasion he just didn't handle it. And now Canterbury, a big chance here for them to go to the lead. They mount some pressure on this Parramatta line.
Canterbury coming up with the scrum win from the back of the scrum. It's Reardon. Tackle 15 out. Gavin Hill. 8 metres from the line now. Canterbury and Parramatta at 8 points all currently. Brokenshire plays it. Geordie Peach tries to make it from dummy half.
They're short on the blind side. If they decide to go there, they've come open.
Pollamouta for Lamb. Cuts out Gillies. McCracken back for Lamb. He goes back to the left and the run around. Then he pushes the pass across for Pollamouta. 5 gone for Canterbury now. Lamb is on the blind side. Parramatta hasn't got the numbers, but Lamb opting to kick. And down it comes for Parramatta to be forced in goal.
Well, an interesting ruling there. Referee ruling that the Parramatta player caught the ball in the field of play and was taken back over. We'll see Odin Ryan climbing high. Yeah, good decision. Only a couple of feet in it, but a nicey way to kick there from Terry Lamb.
What a great player he's been for Canterbury. Bringing very high appraisal from Chief Executive Peter Moore. When you consider the great players Canterbury have had, including Les Johns, Steve Mortimer. He's rated Terry Lamb as the greatest of them all. Simon Gillies. Geordie Peach, blindside rush for Ryan. Pollamouta. Around the back of Gavin Hill. Second man play for Terry Lamb. Reardon is struggling with a left knee injury. Darren Smith away for Jason Williams. Now McCracken. 18 metres from the line. Quick play the ball. Parramatta's not holding on in the tackle long enough. Lamb, centre. 15 out from the line. 5 gone. Parramatta, Lamb. There's the grubber as he varies his kicking game. Bartolo, he might be trapped. No, he's done well. Sliding out to the 10-metre line, Joey Bartolo.
Well, some great defence there eventually from Parramatta, but if they're going to play well with 12 men, they have to slow the play of the ball down, and they have to make sure that when the tackle player comes to them, he doesn't slip the ball away with 2 or 3 defenders hanging off them. They've got to slow this game down, play it at their speed.
Drake. Look at Terry Lamb. Little man on big man, but that was a typical tackle of the 90s. You've got to go high and shut the ball down. But Lamb has paid the penalty. He's still down. Now he's trying to get some feeling back into his shoulder, I think.
Well, that's a knock on there. But with the same winger, Troy Clark, he's the man you've got to kick to. His confidence must be down these last couple of games. And he certainly had that one cleaned up before it spilled out right at the death.
Eight points all if you've just joined us. With Parramatta down a man after 35 minutes. Now, this is blood bin, is it?
Steve Reardon coming off. He's signalling the blood bin. Must be on the back of his head because it's not in the front.
The number 25, Robert Ralph, played very well in the hooking position for the first grade team early in the season. He too has a right leg heavily strapped.
Interesting to me, Peter, that with Scott Mahon being sent off, that Mark Laurie's gone to the centres rather than to 5'8" and push Brett Kenny out into the centres.
Well, he's actually played a fair bit of football in the centres, Mark Laurie, over the years, and I think defensively, I think Michael Crone is looking for his defensive strength to maybe Kurt McCracken out wide.
Keep moving, Brad. Keep pushing that.
King. Opportunity here for Parramatta. Drake. Good ball, but it's been put down. Well, they went for it on the second play.
Well, the ball was fine. It went straight into Brett Kenny's chest, but the Canterbury player coming across was able to get his hand up there and almost knock the ball away. But as you say, Ray, second tackle, you can't be spilling the ball in the opposition's 22.
Darren Smith
has put down 2 balls tonight that Brett Kenny would normally catch.
This game very much there for the taking. The scales strongly in favour of Canterbury, though. As I was saying earlier, for those of you that may just have joined us, Scott Mahon sent off at the 35th minute. Parramatta asked to do it with 12 men. And that's a shame in any game of rugby league, but particularly when you bring the product as far away as Perth to show it to the West Coasters. Krankovic. Nuggety little hit. And making a fine run. Then he got hit in a dual tackle. Centre got him a beauty. Newtner. Well, both sides have carried the football back from broken play and made big inroads.
Yeah, they certainly have on that occasion. As Brett Kenny slices through nearly, the centre picks is taking its toll here with the little steppers getting around the big blokes who can't step as well.
Odin Ryan. 12-8 the line breaks in favour of Parramatta. Firmly looking to try and pop it out the back. 5 gone. Another chance for Parramatta. Grubber kick ahead by Jason Bell, and Williams has been tackled in goal, so that's a good passage of play.
Yeah, good passage of play, and we have the touch judge coming in from the sideline here to make some report.
Line dropout has just occurred. We come back with Michael Butner on the first tackle. Cameron Blair. He's through! Over the 22! Gets it out wide for Odin Ryan. Parramatta! They've picked up a try.
Yes, well, Cameron Blair's been probing all night. He finally went through a gap. Some pretty ordinary Canterbury defence here. But Blair showed a bit of flair as he went through here. Through a dummy, a big left foot step. Little dummy there. Gillies was the man who missed him. That injury is obviously playing up. A lovely pass out wide to Odenryan.
If one man deserves to score a try out there this evening, it is Lee Odenryan. Played very well on the wing, but Blair did all the work, stepped off the left foot, came back. Gillies must be injured. He does look as though he's struggling in defence. And a good ball to Blair as Odenryan puts the ball down in the corner. 12-8 Parramatta.
Well, we've spoken about this lad at length. There's no need for any more, but as I did say earlier, what a rise he's had from Metro Cup to the number ones in Winfield Cup, and Brett Kenny is going to take the kick at goal.
What's his chances, Sterlo?
He's got about as much chance of kicking this as I have from up in the booth here.
Hundreds.
Well, there's a big comment.
I hope I'm wrong, but...
Do you want to make some rash comment before he tries?
Well, I thought that was pretty rash, but let's see how he strikes it. Not placing it a la Matthew Rich. He's gone back to the old method.
There she goes. It's got the length, but I don't know about direction. It's just offline, and Sterling's hit the floor. Here's a break. Parramatta leading Canterbury with 12 men, 12 points to 8. Drake. Well, Steve Roach, let's take a comment from you, but I've been amazed, and I know you have too, the amount of times these teams have just opened right up.
Yeah, well, Ray, Canterbury have dead set gone to sleep, and leading Parramatta's charge.
Come back to you, Steve. Charge down attempt. Chance for Canterbury here. 12 metres out from the line. Lamb gets it away for Gavin Hill. Hill gets inside the 10-metre line.
It had to be a penalty, and it wouldn't be surprised if it's a... I thought it may have been a Sinbini offence.
Quick tap taken there. Unbelievable decision. I thought the 2 points was on offer, but they're going for 6, the Bulldogs.
Canterbury taking the tap. Geordie Peach. 2 metres out from the line. Terry Lamb counting numbers, looking left, looking right.
And they've got them this way. They're in trouble, Parramatta out there, but Gillies has put the ball down. A poor pass there. A real let-off for the Parramatta team. I agree with Paul Vautin. Very surprised they decided to go for 6 points when they could have had 2.
All right, Steve Roach, I had to break in on top of you. We'll come back to you on the sidelines.
Yeah, Ray, that's a bad decision from Terry Lamb. Then that would have made the score 12 points to 10, and I think that's a bad decision. But as I was saying, leading the fray for Parramatta is Greg Drake, who's having an outstanding game at the moment, and Brett Kenny.
Parramatta allowed off the hook there by Canterbury.
Well, maybe it wasn't Lamb that made the decision. The quick was taken. The tap was taken very quickly, and maybe he wasn't involved in the decision at all.
Laurie.
Chris Anderson wouldn't be too happy about it.
Schofield goes for a dummy half scoot. Hard yards. Krankovic. Wrapped up by McCracken. Jason Bell steps around McCracken before getting the right foot to it. Good kick from under pressure.
And they learnt their lesson there. They had Brett Kenny as another option outside of Jason Bell, who was able to step off the foot. We've seen 2 charge downs so far during this game against Parramatta. You have to do something about that.
Williams. Williams! Oh, good run. But again we see, either following a kick or from the first tackle following a kick, both sides opening up. Williams doing the exposing then of the Parramatta defence. Reardon, right on the halfway line. Centre. Solid tackle. Down low was King, Kenny up the top. Polomauta, Lamb, cut-out ball, McCracken. Darren Smith has gone behind him.
Well, he's ruled it went forward. That's a fair decision, but unbelievable play from the Bulldogs. Men the burnout here and just bombed it. Another try. They had 2-on-1. Would have been a certain try.
From the turnover, John Fernley driven into the ground by Geordie Peach. Odenryan tries to make some space up the centre. He ran into the traffic zone. King. Bell. Kenny. Oh, well, that could be a penalty, surely. Yes, it is. Young Michael Buettner was held out of the play.
You see Brett Kenny trying to create some space, and Jared McCracken grabbing Michael Buettner's jersey there to pull him out of the play. Penalty. Touch judge has come in. McCracken will be the man spoken to.
Right on the halfway mark, the penalty goes to the Eels.
And a couple of replacements getting ready for Parramatta, both Mark Horrow and Bill Greentree there we see in the picture. A little bit more enthusiasm needed to go into the Parramatta pack, keep them going. Ryan Schofield takes the tap only 35 metres out.
Yeah, Peter, where's he been? Mark Horrow, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he was a leading New Zealand Test second rower.
Well, he carried a lot of injury, Paul, and really this year he's trained very hard in the off-season. It's been injury that's kept him out, but he'll be an integral part of this team for I think the rest of the season, and certainly we should play a role out there tonight.
Drake running across behind the ruck, trying to give a second pass to Buettner. Kenny, quick hands. Laurie inside the 22 line. Lamb is left to do the defence work. Ryan Schofield picks up another 5 metres. Now they're 12 metres out from the line on 5. Laurie, Kenny puts the kick in. It came off a Canterbury player. This will be 6 more, I think. Referee down there
He's
saying,
pointing to Brett
me.
Kenny.
Kenny's in there somewhere.
Kenny should come up and play the football.
6 more tackles for the Eels. Horrow beats 2, beats a 3rd, straightens up. 5 metres out from the line. Laurie. He's been over the stripe on one occasion. Now it's Horrow again. Canterbury have held him up, but he's short of the line. Dummy half is Greentree.
Well, isn't that really, that was fair dinkum and poor play there from the Eels. They got a million players out to the right, and they've had 5 cracks at it from dummy half.
Well, I do think Greentree tried to outsmart the defence there, trying to milk a penalty. The ball needed to go well. I'm sure Brett Kenny and Jason Bell were screaming for it. Well, there's a mistake there by Canterbury again. They must score out wide if they let it go, surely.
Kenny, long ball. Odin Ryan coming back in ground. Pulled down 3 metres out. Dummy half is Buettner. Drake. 12-8 the score. Canterbury can ill afford to let Parramatta in again. Horrow. Well, since he's come on, he's held onto the ball every occasion. This time he passes for King. Jason Bell. He gets around, and he gets it away for Cameron Blair. Blair gets the try for Parramatta.
Well, in that situation, Jason Bell is the most dangerous player on the field. A marvellous runner in traffic. Took the defence on. I thought the Parramatta had taken plenty of bad options in the preceding couple of plays. Jason Bell went to the line. Looked as though he was going to score himself here. Finds a gap. Going to ground, but Cameron Blair backing up on the outside, and that caps a fine match for Cameron Blair.
You're getting excited, Peter. Settle down. Little man on big man. And always going to get round Mark Brogan's here. Very unselfish play by him. He was nearly over the try line when he passed that one. And he'll be a happy man, Cameron Blair. He deserves a try. He's played very well for the Eels, and the Eels now.
Cameron Blair picks up his 2nd try for the season. And he played a very big part in the Odin Ryan try that was early in the second half. Canterbury, they've got huge problems now. 16-8 down. Admittedly, they're playing against 12 men, and there's plenty of time left.
And a couple of replacements being made by Chris Anderson. Ewan McGrady back into the fray, as is Mitch Newton. And a change in goal kicker here for the Parramatta team. Michael Buettner, the young centre, is coming up. I think he's got much more chance of kicking this than Brett Kenny's attempt on the far side.
You're not very glowing in your appraisal of Brett Kenny's kicking.
Only because I've seen his attempts, Ray. Buettner has kicked in the past.
Buettner 18 metres in from touch, 20 metres out. It's coming around, and it's just wide. No change. 16-8 Parramatta back in a moment. From the kick-off, it's Buettner. Tackled 15 metres out from his line. Well, it hasn't been a flash performance, and they haven't won it yet. But that scoreboard has brought a smile to the Parramatta faces.
Well, they're certainly showing plenty of tick of the Parramatta side. Down to 12 men. It's been a great performance by them as far as commitment is concerned and courage. An abundance of it. And this man, he's taken the ball forward all night. Drake offloaded a few passes.
Jason Bell. Matthew Ryan. Greentree, Peter, I thought he'd be doing the dummy half work, but Horro's doing it.
Well, I think that they will share it around a little bit, maybe looking for both players to get involved in the running aspect of the game. But he's a very good defender, Billy Greentree. Won't be wandering too far away from the ruck area.
Mitch Newton to play it. Former Parramatta junior is Mitch Newton. Gavin Hill, he's lost it, and it's a penalty.
Well, this is this rule again. Interesting to have a look at this if we can see it on replay. A lot of Parramatta defenders going in there. Well, if he hasn't lost that football, I'm not here.
Yeah, he's lost it cold there. Pretty ordinary decision by McCallum. He was at a fair game tonight, but he just lost that cold. And a lucky break for the Canterbury side. Their ball control has dropped right off the last 10 minutes, and that's allowed Parramatta to come back into the match.
Tap taken by Geordie Peets. This is Mitch Newton. 15 minutes left in this match for Canterbury to turn it around, but they're not playing well enough to do it on 2 occasions, which is required now with 16-8 against them. Now Darren Smith up to the 22 line, brushes off a would-be tackle. Now this Canterbury player, Darren Smith, he's got a few problems. Polamaunta. 3-man Parramatta tackle. Darren Smith getting some attention. Terry Lamb comes back to the blind side. Gets it away, but it looked forward.
It was a mile forward, but Canterbury really pressing our last tackle. Will they run or go to the air?
Williams, Lamb, long ball. McGrady came off the feet there of Chris King, and he falls on the ball.
Yeah, not a very positive kick there by McGrady. I thought he should have put it up high. They had 3 or 4 players out wide, but just a little grubber in and did nothing for them. Now Parramatta rocking it out. All the work to do ahead of them. They lead 16-8. They're playing okay.
This is the best way to do it. Just get out of dummy half and get some speed men in there as well. Terry Lamb certainly coming into his own now for Canterbury, really opening up the blind side on plenty of occasions. He's the danger.
Jason Bell with a long pass out to Laurie. Now it's with Joe Bartolo. 10 metres short of the halfway line. Kenny. The Kenny kick is going to find touch. 15 out from the line.
Yeah, I taught him how to do that a long, long time ago. Brett Kenny's kicking game, very important in the second half. As I mentioned, taking the pressure off Jason Bell. And if Parramatta are to win this game, this is the end of the field they need to be. 13 minutes left on the clock. They can't miss tackles.
Yeah, it's not bad for a miss kick this. Off the inside of the foot. Taught him that, Sterlo.
White shot comes out.
Found touch. Polamaunta feeds the scrum.
McGrady getting it away. Matthew Ryan to play it. Sideline comment from Blocker Roach.
Yes, Ray, great coaching by Michael Cronin to bring Mark Horro and Billy Greentree onto the field. They've certainly added the spark that Parramatta have needed.
Gee, that was a good tackle there on Mitch Newton from Chris King. Gavin Hill. Well, this crowd at the W.A.C.A, it's always been very much a Parramatta crowd. They love the Eels over here in the West, and it would seem they brought out the best in them, but it hasn't, as I say, rated with some of your better performances, Peter, down through the years, but the scoreboard is smiling favourably on you.
Well, as I say, no team can win these kind of games when you've got 12 men, and they're certainly against the odds. The teams are so evenly matched in this competition that you just can't give that advantage away. So the character shown in the second half has been very good. But Canterbury certainly have butchered many of opportunities. Parramatta have scrambled very well.
Odin Ryan.
Another replacement made by Parramatta. Very good young forward, this man Paul Quinn, coming in. As Brett Kenny sees numbers on the blind, picks up Chris King. Has a big future, this kid.
This is him with the ball now. Paul Quinn. I fancy he joined Parramatta from St Gregory's College. Kenny. 5 tackles gone. Drop goal is on the mind of Jason Bell, but he goes for the bomb. Matthew Ryan's underneath it. Well taken, but it's a penalty anyway to Canterbury.
Yeah, good option there by the Parramatta side. Just putting the ball up, hoping for the best. But they're all offside, all in front of the kicker. Ryan took it well all the same. Very safe under the high ball there. But Canterbury now with the penalty, they're not going to win this match if they continue to play catch-ups, throwing desperate passes around their own quarter. They need to get down and they need field position. They need a good kicking game. There's only, 11 minutes remaining, but they're still not beat.
Crowd, surprisingly, it's over 15,000, 15,723. Such a spread out ground, it's probably hard to estimate, but 15,700 here at the W.A.C.A tonight. Pollamouta, Lamb, McGrady, good passing, Darren Smith.
Great cover from Brett Kenny there. They created the overlap. Last tackle, Terry Lamb going to the line, the little one over the top. Tankovic will have to clean this up.
This might be a penalty. Lamb was taken out of the play, but the referee has said play on. Odin Ryan. Quinn. King. Horrow. Bell tries to go himself, but he's been pulled down eventually by Mitch Newton. Greentree away for Laurie. Ryan. Now let's have a look at Parramatta's defence on this occasion. That's better. 10 metres out from his line, Matthew Ryan to play it.
Yeah, great defence by the Parramatta side. A little knock on there. Little knock on by Williams, I believe, in dummy half. Took his eye off the ball. Fundamentals. That's what it's all about. Basic fundamentals. You've got to get them right first.
Opportunity time again for Parramatta.
There's no doubt Canterbury will try and screw this scrum to get another one against the feed. That's how they've achieved 2 this evening. They'll be looking to turn the scrum around. But a quick feed from Jason Bell does the job.
Kenny, run around with Mark Laurie. Laurie tries to do it himself. No dummy half. Kenny gets in there just in time. Quinn. Horrow. Bell. Drake goes decoy. Played by Danny Krankovic. Quinn. Little bit of a juggle. 6 metres out. 2 tackles left. Horrow. Bell. Kenny. Fades across the ground. Chris King. 10 metres out from the line.
Just roll the ball behind the line here. Possession from the 22 will be good enough.
Jason Bell goes for the bomb instead of the grubber, and Matthew Ryan, equal to the task, it'll come out to the 22.
He's done well again there, Ryan. Now a quick tap taken by Williams. Away he goes. And makes the bust.
Williams outside his 40-metre line. Over the halfway. Pulled down from behind by Cameron Blair. Centre. 7 minutes of the game remaining. 8 points the margin in favour of Parramatta. McCracken. This is Clark. This will be a penalty to Canterbury. He's got Parramatta for stealing the ball in the tackle.
Well, the match is, what, 74 minutes old. I think it's about time Ewan McGrady decided to have a run. He hasn't exactly stamped his authority on the match so far, just continuing to pass. He's got to have a run, use that pace of his.
Well, here goes Gavin Hill launching himself at the defence. 2 metres away from the line, Geordie Peets tries it himself. Coming wide to the right. Long ball, Parramatta. Lamb, short ball, McGrady. Then delivered for McCracken. Gerald McCracken will play it. 12 metres out from the line. Terry Lamb goes himself across the ground. Parramatta's defence equal to the task at the moment. Williams. Parramatta shows the ball, turns it inside for Gillies. 5 tackles gone now. Peets, they work the blind side. Lamb for Darren Smith. And Darren Smith goes in to score his second try of the night.
Oh, what a lovely piece of work by Terry Lamb. And Smith skirting right down the touchline. But once again, you'll see the winger makes a basic mistake, and Joe Bartolo comes in and takes no one.
Very poor defence there from Parramatta. That's where Canterbury have looked dangerous all night. Terry Lamb first pass on the blind. Caught the defence out. Joe Bartolo in no man's land there, caught nobody, and they've allowed Darren Smith to improve the position, which again is not good play.
Yeah, but great play by Smith, and I think tonight he's had a good game. He just might have played his way. Here he is again. See, Bartolo came in and took no one. That was the end of the section. But Smith might have played his way into a Queensland side tonight, Ray. He's a player. Look, the other night Queensland looked a bit pedestrian. They had a certain sameness about their attack. Now Smith's a player who can step, swerve. He's got good hands and a lot of pace. And I think he's the player they need in their side, the Maroons.
Well, you've mentioned Darren Smith as a possibility of going into the Queensland side. What are you thinking? Are you thinking forwards or backs for him?
Wouldn't worry me where he went. Second row, lock, or in the centres.
Gavin Hill. 16-12 is the score currently. This to make it 16-14. 10 metres in, 22 out, but he's hooked it. No goal, so Parramatta go into the last 5 minutes leading by 16-12. Sunday, we bring you the telecast of the Balmain North Sydney game from Leichhardt. Referee calling timeout. I think it's a blood bin, is it not?
I think Quinn has been replaced. Michael Buechner is on the field.
Parramatta using the go slow tactics here, and McCallum's aware of them. Waiting for the ball to come back before he signals time on.
Well, what a finish we've got. 6 minutes left on the clock. 4 points in front, Parramatta, but a man down. Canterbury are going to consolidate a spot in the top half of the table. They've got to score the try. Terry Lamb catches it and picks up Simon Gillies.
Gillies 15 metres out from his own line. Hill.
Been impressive, Gavin Hill, tonight. He's been their best forward, and he's certainly got them going forward as well.
Mitch Newton. Canterbury must get this football down the other end of the park. Then wait for the opportunity to come, hopefully for them, off a Parramatta mistake. Lamb's pass, bouncing for Darren Smith. Parramatta desperate to keep Canterbury wedged inside their 22. McCracken.
And they look to run this here. Parramatta calling for the ball. He is going wide.
McGrady. Short ball for Gillies, out very wide. Parramatta, he does well. McGrady flicks it over the head for Mitch Newton. That pass was forward and read by the referee as such.
Razzle-dazzle go the Bulldogs down that left-hand side, but that last pass, was it forward? I don't know. I thought it was a line ball myself.
All the way, fellas, let him go, all the way. Well done.
And Parramatta now just need to control this ball. Try and put it in.
Here's Blair. Jason Bell. 22 line. 4th tackle. Porro.
Well, again, I'd be looking to roll the ball into the in-goal area. They don't need to score points. They have to play field position. That's what Brett Kenny has tried to do. Has got a great kick into the corner. Cleaned up by Williams. But a super chase mark, Laurie. That is a very, very big play in this game. Great kick, Brett Kenny.
And a little shake of the hands there between Kenny and Laurie. They worked it out. They knew exactly what to do, and they combined to put it together.
Yeah, well done by the Eels, and the high fives are on here. Kenny and Laurie. And here's a penalty now. He's either for offside.
Well, they've tried to go for the short kick-off. I think he's got him, the Canterbury player, for in front of the kicker. And we see a penalty awarded to Parramatta right in front of the posts.
Well, Terry Lamb is not one bit impressed with this ruling by the referee.
Well, it's been a blow-up. Barber, he's going for it.
Well, Lamb is incensed at the ruling by Greg McCallum. He's obviously got Canterbury for being in front of the kicker. And Parramatta have been given a gift shot at goal right in front.
Yeah, but will they get it, Ray? That's the big question.
Well, I was almost tempted to say that they may just take the tap, but 4 points in front, 6 makes it a ball game that they won't get beaten in with very little time left on the clock. Well, Michael Buettner did strike his first kick reasonably well. It just went to the right of the posts. He's only got to strike this one half decently, and it's a 6-point lead to the Eels.
Buettner from right in front. He won't get it any easier. Terry Lamb behind the line is absolutely fuming at the decision from the referee. Michael Buettner raises the flags. Parramatta leading now by 18 points to 12.
And hasn't it been a win to the Eels? Only a couple of minutes remaining. The W.A.C.A specialists, they strike again.
McGrady gets us going. Oh, gee. Brett Kenny comes away with the ball after Canterbury had a very good chance to come up with it.
And smart play, Kenny, not looking to keep the ball alive. Just need some dummy half runs here, work it for 5, and then put the kick down the far end.
Odin Ryan. There's the siren. It's all over. Parramatta has beaten Canterbury and kept the unbeaten run intact here at the W.A.C.A.